Okay, now you're going to learn about the next kingdom, which is Kingdom Protista. And Kingdom Protista differs from Kingdom Monera in which that Kingdom Protista are eukaryotes. There are several unique characteristics of protists. First of all, most of protists are unicellular eukaryotes. So you see the word most here, it means that not all protists are unicellular. There are some protists that are multicellular. For example, is a green algae here. So it is an example of multicellular protist. And the next thing is the mode of nutrition of protists can be photosynthetic or holozoid. Photosynthetic means that it obtains food by undergoing photosynthesis, and holozoid means that it obtains food from others by ingesting. For example, I give you example of amoeba here. How amoeba obtain food? Amoeba obtain food by taking in the food and then ingest inside. So it means that in holozoid organism, the food is digested once it's inside the body. So it means that the organism will eat the food first and then the digestion will take place inside the body. And then reproduction of protists are mainly asexual. And after that, the habitat of protists mostly in aquatic. Aquatic means that they are watery environment. For example, is plankton and algae. And then most of protists are motile. Motile means it can move at some time in life cycle. Okay, now let's take a look on the classification of kingdom Protista. Kingdom Protista can be divided into two groups based on the modes of nutrition. It means that how they obtain food. First, photosynthetic or plant-like, which means that it obtains food by undergoing photosynthesis. And the second group is holozoid. And the holozoid or is also called as animal-like protist. So the photosynthetic or plant-like protist is classified under group algae, whereas the protista that are holozoid are classified under the group protozoa. Let's take a look at the unique characteristics of algae. All algae are photosynthetic because that is the main feature of algae. Algae must be photosynthetic. And it also have chlorophyll A and B. And the food reserve is in the form of starch. It stores food in the form of starch. And after that, the cell wall of algae, as algae is plant-like, so it means that it also has cell wall. And the cell wall of algae is made up of cellulose. As opposed to bacteria of Monera, kingdom Monera, which consists of peptidoglycan, whereas the cell wall of fungi is composed of chitin. And the next characteristic of algae is the habitat. Mostly can be found in fresh water and few are marine. And you can see here in the picture the glowing part of the ocean. It means that there are bioluminescent algae. Bioluminescent means that algae that produce light. And it happens, you can see it at night and in some beach or in some river. And algae is also closely related to green plants. It is said that algae is the ancestor of plants. Okay, let's take a look at the Chlamydomonas, which is an example of algae. This is Chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas is unicellular, and the shape of Chlamydomonas is oval. And Chlamydomonas has nucleus as any eukaryotes, which is located in the center of the cell. And what makes Chlamydomonas classify under group algae is the fact that it has chloroplast. So this chloroplast make it to have plant-like features. And then Chlamydomonas also motile. Motile means that it can move by flagella. It has 2 flagella. It also has eye spot. The function of eye spot in Chlamydomonas is to detect light. So whenever there is light, the Chlamydomonas will move toward the light so that it can use the light for photosynthesis. And then let's take a look at the group Protozoa. Proto means that ancient or before. Zoa means animal. So Protozoa means that before animal or ancient animal. Protozoa is unicellular eukaryotes. And the modes of nutrition is holozoid or ingestive. It means that, as you can see from the picture here, it means that it obtains nutrient by eating or feed on other organisms, and then the digestion will occur inside the cell or inside the body. And most of protozoa, even though not all, most of protozoa are motile. It means that it can move by several, depends on the structure. For example, paramecium moved by cilia, whereas amoeba moved by pseudopodium, and then there are also some protists that move by flagella. And most of protists are microscopic, even though there are also a few, very few example of protozoa that are not microscopic. And most of the protozoa are free living. It means that it doesn't need a host to live, except there are few example, few protists that are parasites. For example, here is a plasmodium which causes the disease malaria. So plasmodium needs host, which is the blood, our red blood cell, to live. So it will live inside our blood cell. But other than plasmodium, most of protozoa are free living, means that it doesn't need host. And then most of protozoa depends on water, live in aquatic or in soil environment. An example of protozoa is amoeba. So these are some features of amoeba. Amoeba move by pseudopodium. It means that the extension of plasma membrane. It extends plasma membrane to move and for feeding. Pseudo means false and podium means feed. So pseudopodium means false feed. And it also has one nucleus. It has one contractile vacuole for osmoregulation. It means that the function of contractile vacuole is to control the amount of fluid inside the amoeba cell. Okay, there are a few importance of kingdom Protista. First, kingdom Protista is used as a food source, especially for example is chlorella. We normally extract some compound from chlorella and make it into pill. Chlorella is a type of algae. And the next thing is it also can impact human health. For example, plasmodium, which causes malaria. And malaria is transmitted by female Anopheles mosquito bite. It means that Anopheles carries mosquitoes carry plasmodium inside its body, and then whenever the Anopheles suck the blood from us, it can transmit a plasmodium into our bloodstream. And then the parasite will live in the red blood cell, which cause it to burst. And some Protista is also used for sewage treatment, especially from the group from the phylum Celiophora. Protista Celiophora is used to remove bacteria from sewage water. Sewage means that water that is contaminated by feces, by urine, means that it comes from our toilet.